Hey, everybody, and welcome in. I guess it's the Poor Man Fantasy Football League podcast, and I stumbled over my words, and that's okay because it is Wednesday night, January 21st, and we're the fantasy football show that gives you a peek inside, no holds barred, of our fantasy football league and this podcast. I'm your host, Mike. With me, as always, is my good friend, Andrew. And this week, we're going to start breaking down and doing our review of our divisional predictions we made over the summer. We're going to start that off with the AFC West. But first off, Andrew, how are you doing?
Not too bad. Yourself?
I feel really cold. It's like we had that nice warm January for some strange reason, and now it's cold and I feel old because it's affecting me. Yeah.
It's what did they say over the weekend? Might get to like minus 30 again.
Yeah. It's where it normally is at, but I'm not climatized
which would be
to it.
like 0-ish Fahrenheit for you.
Lower than that?
For USP.
No.
No, I think minus 34 is their zero.
Minus 40 and minus 40 are the same, Celsius and Fahrenheit. So minus 30 is going to have to be somewhere in the negatives to be able to have
Let's find out.
That math, that work. Either way, I'm just feeling a little bit of the chill. I'm looking forward to crawling under a blanket after this and maybe watching a show before bed. And the answer is
minus 22.
Minus 22. So minus 22 Fahrenheit, minus 34. Yeah, it's cold. It's cold. Yeah. Anyways. Okay, so here we are. It's the end of the season. Congratulations again to Ryan, a.k.a. Slick, for becoming our league champion. He was on the show last week. Go check it out. But there's still our fantasy football season is over, but football is not over. A couple things have happened. We've had some
three games left. Three in total.
Yeah, I guess, hey? No, what do you want to do? Are we including the fiasco that we call? No, we're just going to ignore those? Okay. There's 3 games left. We have the conference round and then the Super Bowl. And speaking of Super Bowl, we made our reservations to our favorite hangout where we win all of the lavish prizes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Where Andrew was expecting to have a bunch of treasures passed his way this year.
Well, there will be. I don't know how you're making up 11-6.
You don't remember that at the beginning of this divisional breakdown series, you challenged that we will count the fantasy lineups.
Well, have you gone in and figured out everything? And what's the final number at then?
I just figured it out for this week. I just know that this week I did well.
So it could go ugly for you.
It could go really bad really quick. Yeah, I'm not going to trash talk. I'm not going to put that karma on my head, Ricky Bobby.
Yeah,
it could go really bad. But I know this week I closed the gap by 1.
But you're going to have to figure it out in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah. I think what'll happen is next week we'll finish off all of the AFC division. So we'll do we're doing the West this week. We'll do the North, South, and East next week, and then we'll do all the NFCs the week after, and then it'll be Super Bowl. And then when we get back after the Super Bowl, we'll start breaking some other stuff down. Yeah, just to let you guys know, chat with Josh. We're getting the year-end award show put together, so he's going to let me know some dates that work for him. We're going to get that scheduled, get that out to you dudes, so you know what's coming. All right? Okay, so let's talk about those divisional matchups. I did not get to watch all of them. Some of them, I watched some highlights. One of them wasn't worth watching. Broncos beat the Bills. Let's start there. I did not expect that to be as close as it was, and I'm thoroughly disgusted at the NFL for how the officiating played out. Happy that the Broncos won.
Yes.
I'm not opposed to that. Like in this case, I would have been happy either way because I have no skin in either game, and it's just nice to see some fresh teams this far in the playoffs. But as a Lions fan who saw some terrible calls against my team this year, I saw some terrible calls against the Bills, and that kind of sucks. I don't want to see a game play out that way. I would just love to see strategic thinking and like football knowledge, and then physicality win out. So happy that the game was kind of close, just not happy with some of the calls.
Fair enough.
Yeah. And I know you, with a friend who happens to be a Bills fan, loved every minute of it. You just love rubbing it in his face.
I had picked the Broncos, if you think last week.
Yeah, you did.
I picked the Broncos.
The defense is good.
I went 3 of 4 last week.
Well,
I should have made that our bet.
You should have made that our bet.
Because you did not go 3 of 4.
I picked losers. Yep, I picked losers. I only picked one winner, and only because of a miracle. Yeah, we'll get to that. Okay, so I did pick the Bills. I just assumed the Bills would find a way, and they didn't. Next up was the Seahawks and 49ers. I totally thought the 49ers would have been better than they were, and I thought the shoe was going to drop for Sam Darnold. I'm not holding out hope, but hey, shock on both counts. Seahawks,
you know what? Though, here, Sam Darnold. It wasn't because of Sam Darnold. I even threw it in our little bit of a chat. He only threw for 149 yards.
He didn't have to. The team
he
was
didn't have to.
it.
But that's why I'm saying it wasn't because of Sam Darnold.
But it also wasn't because of Sam Darnold that they lost. It's not like he pulled a C.J. Stroud.
True.
And gave
100%.
Up, four interceptions. Like that's he did what he was supposed to do. He protected the ball, and the rest of the team delivered.
Team showed up, did their job.
Yeah.
I'm not a Seahawk fan at any core.
But give the caveat here. You like them more than you like the 49ers.
No.
Really? You like the 49ers more than the Seahawks?
Just because of their legacy. Joe Montana, Ronnie Lott, Jerry Rice.
Okay. Oh, you're talking about like that. I'm thinking like, what do you mean legacy? But that makes sense. Okay. So
the Seahawks will always, always, always be they're my Calgary Flames.
Okay. But you're a Chicago fan, so what does that mean?
Okay, you want to flip it to that. They're my Toronto Maple Leafs from way back when Chicago and
original
Toronto were in the same division.
Okay.
It's just the Seahawks. Never, ever, ever.
When I think Seahawks, I think of the Russell Wilson Legion of Boom era. That is when I was kind of like, that's what I think of. I don't miss those days. That was a fun time period where that team was good. If the team is good again under its current whatever, I don't think it's like a dynasty building franchise at this moment. We talked a little bit about, hey, the Seahawks, the 49ers, and the Rams are all in the divisional round of the playoffs. That's freaking crazy. This division was once the pinnacle of football. Are they going back to it? And you said no. You think it's kind of like a flash in the pan. One and done.
It'll be one and done. Yeah. This is their year, and the mediocrity will kick it. They're not going to be a power. I'm not saying they're going to drop off to like going 0-17 next year, but I just think all of the pieces came in place for them this year. Just kind of like 3 years ago when Cincinnati made their run to the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Everything fell in place for that team that year, and they've been mediocre since. And they were mediocre before that. I think Seattle's the same thing. That whole division to me is mediocre. I don't see a powerhouse. Even though San Francisco has been the strongest team of the division the last few years, the Rams. I put the Rams in the Central with Detroit, Philadelphia, Chicago, Green Bay. I don't think they could contend. Put them in the AFC in any division other than maybe the Indianapolis division, and I don't think the Rams would thrive. Like put them in with Pittsburgh, Baltimore, Cincinnati,
Cleveland. Okay,
Cleveland. But I don't think they'd be as good.
Okay, so how did three of these teams then from that same division that you think is mediocre make it into the playoffs?
I just think for that division this year, things just came together where they they won the games that they had to, like the non-division games and the non-conference games gave them their wins and gave them they put them there. That's the only reason I can think of, right? Like again, when I think of that division in itself, none of them screams powerhouse to me.
I'm not really sure how to respond to that because I don't think they're mediocre. I think there's some truth to what you're saying is that things hit right for them.
Okay, so let me.
I think the Rams are the better team out of this division. Outside of the Seahawks are hot. I don't know if they stay hot.
Okay, but let me put it to you this way: was it not 3 or 4 years ago? They were the one division team that made the playoffs with a losing record.
The Rams?
No. Somebody in that division made the playoffs because they won the division, and it was with a losing record.
Let's validate that. I don't know if that was them. I know that's happened in other divisions. I'm not sure if it was that division.
Pretty sure it was, and I think it was either the Rams or the Seahawks. And I would say probably 4 years ago. That's the NFC West. West.
Yeah, okay.
Division winner.
Let's see. It'd be nice if it was just like, okay, can you just show me the history of these things?
Oh, sorry. It's a ways back. Sorry. My apologies. In 2010, the NFC West, the NFC West became the first division in its history to have the Seahawks won the division title going 7-9.
Okay, so that's not as recent. Not as valid as you were claiming it.
Did they win the Super Bowl that year?
2010?
In 2010, the NFC West became the first division in NFL. The first division to have a champion.
Yeah.
Sorry,
with a losing record. I kind of
misread that. Yeah.
Okay, so I think the Seahawks are hot. They're just playing well. I think the Rams are the better built team, but they're aging. This is not a team I think that's going to sustain what they're doing. The 49ers, injuries plagued them, so they're not a reliable team, but I think they'll be good, not great next year. Arizona's just Arizona. I think they're going to be garbage next year. But yeah, I don't fully expect 3 of these teams to be back in the playoffs, but I think 2 of them have a good shot at it, depending on what the Rams end up doing with their team. But I think the Seahawks, if this is the Seahawks now, I can't see why they wouldn't be good next year.
I don't know. I'm still not super.
You're not sold.
I'm not jazzed on A. The offense doesn't excite me.
Yeah,
and B, the defense. Yeah. But you know what? In the playoffs, they've done really well. So maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, like we were both out on Sam Darnold, but here he is. Yeah. He's made it further. He's 1 round further than he was last year.
Yes.
Okay, next game up. Patriots beat the Texans. I did pick the Texans. I thought, and it could have happened, the Texans were the better team, but CJ Stroud was the worst quarterback. Turning the ball over 4 times. You can't expect your team to dig you out of a deficit when you turn the ball over that many times. Had he not turned the ball over, or they had switched over to Davis Mills even, they probably would have won that game.
Quite possibly, yes.
Yeah.
And you're welcome. Not you. our champion. You're welcome.
Right. Yeah. Slick. Okay. I was actually looking forward to bringing our Texans helmet to a possible Texans Super Bowl.
Oh yeah, no, that wouldn't have happened. Period. I felt the Patriots were the better team. Yes, the Texans defense was solid, but with Nico Collins still under the concussion protocol,
yeah, it hurt them.
Neither one of the running backs really stepped up and said, "Give me the rock, I will carry the team." Even CJ Stroud didn't look like he wanted to run, and the offense on the team just looked like they were in disarray.
Yeah.
And I think, you know what? Give them credit. Going into the season, I think everybody picked them to be last place in their division or darn close to it. And I think they left everything on the field all season long to win the division, to be one of the best teams in the league, and just maybe they ran out of gas. They got lucky to get past the wild card week having, 4 or 5 turnovers. 4
fumbles, 1 interception.
How often does that happen that you give up 5 turnovers and still win the game? Rare, right? So I think the Texans should be dang proud of the season they had.
Dang angry at their quarterback for turning the ball over as many times as he did.
Yeah. CJ Stroud, when CJ Stroud is locked in, he could be good. He could be the top 3 quarterback in the league. When he's not dialed in, he's the bottom 3 of the league.
It's like the curse of Ohio State.
Yes. Yes, and I'm glad I traded him away when I did, because that would have just frustrated the hell out of me if I had still had him.
Oh, yeah. As the Texans are my number 2 team behind my Lions.
Yes.
It's just disappointing. Like, oh, hey, these guys have had some rough patches, right? They've made some bad decisions, but they've worked to get out of it. Deshaun Watson being that bad decision, and so close. All right. Anyways, congrats to the Patriots. They're doing good things. I don't know what's going to happen next. We'll talk about it shortly. Last matchup, Rams beat the Bears in a wild finish. I picked the Rams to win, and I thought the Rams were doing well, but lo and behold, they'll never count the Bears out. They rallied, and then that ridiculous pass by Caleb Williams to Cole Kmet in the end zone. It's like, are you for real? Did that just happen? How did that happen? But it did. Thankfully, knock on wood, that things worked out, and I could potentially be wearing this to our Super Bowl party. Do you remember this when you won this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Again, I don't see it, but
okay. Well, let's talk about it. We know that the Broncos won, Seahawks won, Patriots won, Rams won. Matchups are set. We're going to see the Rams play the Seahawks. Do you think the Rams can beat the Seahawks in Seattle?
No. Especially in Seattle.
Okay.
Where the weather could be really, really bad. I think, again, this is the year Seattle goes to the finals, but loses in the finals.
Okay. Let's talk about disable. Yeah, we're good. The Rams played Seattle twice this year. How do you think that went?
I think they probably split.
Okay. So in the 2 matches, the Rams, the last matchup they faced, or the first time they faced, was on November 16th. Seattle was at Los Angeles. Los Angeles won 21-19. Super close. 21-19. Second matchup was on December 18th. The Rams were in Seattle. Seattle won 38-37 in overtime.
So close games.
Yeah, extremely close. So I don't think it's as clear, cut and dry, because these teams both have the ability to move the football. What I think is going to come down to special teams, and we know Seattle's got Rashid Shaheed, the guy who can return or has returned the most kick return yards and touchdowns this year, or a defense that can create a turnover, a mishap. If you can create pressure on Sam Darnold gets scared. So I don't know. I think it's going to be the better of the 2 games to watch this weekend. It's the Rams versus Seahawks.
I agree with you with that statement. I think the Seahawks win by a field goal.
Yeah, I bet you it's going to come down to that last minute. Who's got possession, drive the field, kick that field goal to either tie it to put in overtime or kick it to win. That's what's going to come down to, is that field goal.
Well, I think what I think will happen is Seattle will be up, the Rams will drive, and they'll turn it over before they can get that tying field goal.
Tie it up, yeah.
Or the winning touchdown, or like they'll be going balls out to get that winning touchdown, and it'll be a pick, or somebody will drop the ball,
We had a bet earlier this year where we picked defenses, and I think you picked Seattle because they had the most
turnovers.
Turnovers, yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Well, hey, maybe that's it.
And I like I said, it's still going to be a close game. I think it's going to be an entertaining game, unless the weather is just garbage and 40 below. And let me see, Seattle's that's the Saturday game.
I think so. So you're taking the Seahawks. I'm taking the Rams. They have an open dome. They don't have a sealed dome. Yeah, the open stadium.
That's why I'm saying the weather could be a factor.
Cold, rainy.
Saturday. No, it's compared to LA, it's cold because it's
cold.
7
warmer than here.
7 degrees, 6 degrees if it's on Sunday, and partially cloudy. So it's not like it's 30 below and like it could be, but okay. Well,
okay. Let's talk Patriots at Broncos. Now, Bo Nix somehow suffered an ankle injury, a broken ankle. He's out. He's having surgery.
Yep.
They have to pivot to Jarrett Stidham. I would give the game to the Broncos if Bo Nix was playing. I would. I think the Broncos defense is better than the Patriots. I think Bo Nix is just good enough to manage the game, kind of what CJ Stroud should have done, and might be able to get the win over the Patriots. However, without Bo Nix, Jarrett Stidham seems to be getting a lot of hype. Do you buy into any hype or what people are saying that Jarrett Stidham's really a good quarterback? He's probably the best backup in the league. Like,
prove me wrong, but no.
Yeah.
I unfortunately, I think all the air got popped out of the Bronco balloon as soon as they announced his ankle was broken and he's done.
I felt that way.
I think all of their confidence has gone away. They're doing damage control. Stidham, great backup quarterback. Oh, hey, it doesn't matter who we have at quarterback. The rest of the team is going to step up and do blah, 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 blah. And hey, you can step up all you want. You're going up against a very confident, talented,
and capable
Patriot team that is riding a high. As long as the Patriots don't look past them, thinking they're already stamping their ticket to the Super Bowl, that's the only way that I think the Broncos win, is if the Patriots go in there thinking this is going to be a cakewalk and it's going to be like going up against a high school team. I
feel bad for the Broncos. I'm not buying the hype. It feels like we're trying to be oversold on Jarrett Stidham to like, oh, it's okay, everybody. Place your Vegas bets. It's going to be a good game. But I don't know if the Broncos defense is strong enough to carry this game alone. And when was the last time Jarrett Stidham played?
Yeah, well, and the other part of it is, why was it on Monday that they were rumored to be looking to pull a quarterback out of retirement?
Well, I didn't hear that story.
Yeah, it said they were shopping around to try and find a replacement.
As a backup, possibly?
Maybe as a backup, but why would you... if there's any truth to that they were out shopping around, and then you turn around and say, oh, but Stidham is our guy. The Broncos have had an incredible season.
Mm-hmm.
Say the same thing like they said about the Texans. Great season. Their defense probably won them a bunch of games, especially early on in the year. And unfortunately, I just think they've run into a better team right now, and we'll see. Okay. This one I would predict by a touchdown, like maybe 21-14 or 28-21.
I think it's more than 7.
But you think it's going to be bigger, lopsided than that?
Yeah. Okay, so I want to pick the Broncos. I do. Out of the two, I want the Broncos to win. I want the Broncos to win and go to the Super Bowl over the Patriots. 2 reasons. One, the Broncos haven't been to the Super Bowl in a long time, and the Patriots are currently rebuilding their new dynasty. But they've been there so often, so recently with the Tom Brady era. So I'm still somewhat fatigued at seeing Patriots in the Super Bowl. Like I'm still fatigued by seeing like the 49ers or the Chiefs or the Eagles recency bias, like attending the Super Bowl. Like, hey, look, I want to see some fresh blood. And that's kind of why I want to see the Broncos there. So I'm saying this out loud. I want the Broncos to win this. I don't think they can. I don't know if I trust all of the hype. I don't trust all the hype with Jarrett Stidham. So I got to go Patriots. But I can honestly see that the Patriots might come out here not looking past, but looking to make a statement and say, hey, just because you don't have Bo Nix doesn't mean we're going to look past you guys. We're going to come in here and we're going to stomp a mud hole in you and pave the way for our success in Super Bowl victory. So I think 7+. Like 10, I'll give them 10.
And where I think the reason I say 7 is because I think the Broncos defense may come out and say it's on our shoulders.
It is. Yeah. They have to.
And if we can keep them to, if we can keep the, like, you know, at the end of the third quarter, if it's 21-14, we still have a chance, right? We're not out of it yet, but I going into the fourth quarter, if the defense has been laying it out on the line, do they run out of steam and then that's the end of it? I just maybe 10 points, but
okay,
we'll see.
I put more conservative, yeah. But we are facing an opportunity to see Patriots versus Seahawks in a repeat Super Bowl.
Yeah. And I think the Patriots win that.
They get the revenge?
Yeah, because it's...
Should have given it to Marshawn in the first place.
Well, there's that. But I think of the 4 teams that are playing this weekend, I think the Patriots are the best team right now.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Interesting.
Their offense is clicking. Their defense is playing stout. I think they're the best team of the 4. Do I think they're the best team in the league? No. But of the 4 teams that are playing right now, yes.
Okay. Any given Sunday.
And maybe it's my bias because I still think, you know, teams like Philadelphia who had a bad year, Detroit who faltered a little bit, Kansas City who faltered a little bit, even the Chargers who faltered down the
stretch.
They pulled their typical Charger. Hey, we're good, we're hot, and then all of a sudden at the end of the year they fell apart. I think that's just a Charger curse. I think there are some better teams out there than the Patriots, and we'll see next year with some of these coaching changes.
There's a lot. Okay. Well, let's move on to some news. 2 things that happened that I think are interesting to hear. The 49ers have said that Brandon Ayuk has believe that Ayuk has played his last snap. And I think that's pretty obvious. He didn't show up at all last year. They paid him too much money. It's done over with. They're probably going to cut bait. And they should. And then the Bills owner did a press conference with his new president, former GM, and called out the decision to fire Sean McDermott as a result of the Denver game, and then called out Keon Coleman for not being. Yeah, that was the coach's desire. The coaches wanted that, and those coaches aren't here anymore. That wasn't a GM decision. The GM just gave in to his coaching staff, but the GM will be making better decisions going forward. And it's like, ooh. So, like, does that mean Keon Coleman, who's still got 2 years left on his rookie contract, is he out? Are they moving on? Are they going to cut him? They're going to trade him. Why would you want to stay and play for a team or ownership where that's the thought and feeling? Oh, that just hurts.
I mean, that's you look at like Diggs and the rest of and guys like that said, I'm done. Enough is enough. Maybe ownership and management just is not a favorable environment in Buffalo.
Well, whoever their new head coach is, it's an interesting position because you do have the best quarterback in all of football right now, primed to win a Super Bowl, and the window's closing.
It is. I just think, like, your comment, prime to win a Super Bowl.
He is. He's the best he's going to get. If they don't surround him now, it's never going to happen.
But that's just it. There's way too many holes in that team that need to be filled. And I don't know that he's got the time left for them to fill that and for them to make another run.
Well,
they didn't do bad this year, but
they didn't do bad. They made the playoffs. I don't understand how that team wins.
Neither do I.
They don't have like the talent, which is part of the problem. If they got the talent and that talent clicks, oh yeah, this is a great team. It's gonna be hot. They're gonna do some damage. They're gonna be serious contenders. But they need that talent. Oh.
We'll see. We'll see what their management does, and maybe with a new coach, things will be different.
Yep, maybe we'll see. Okay. Other news. I already mentioned it. Head coach Sean McDermott was fired from the Bills, and coaches that were hired. New York Giants hired John Harbaugh. I think that's a pretty good landing spot for him.
I think so too. It's a young team that he can mold into.
Build some solid culture there. Take that talent, build them into men, build them into a team, build another dynasty.
I think that team had at times this year surprised some teams.
Yeah, and then
because they had flashes of greatness, and then they had flashes of you're eating a poop sandwich, and then again at the end of the year they blow it and don't get the first round pick.
They don't need They don't need that first overall pick. They landed John Harbaugh. I think that's a pretty decent consolation prize. They're going to do good. Miami has hired Jeff Hafley as their new head coach. He was formerly Green Bay's defensive coordinator. And
so now do the Dolphins become a total defensive juggernaut team?
I think they'll focus on that. It'll be interesting to see what they do at offensive coordinator and how they handle their offense. If you're bringing in a defensive-minded coach, it falls heavily on the offensive coordinator to carry that offense. So let's see what happens. And then the other hire was Atlanta has hired Kevin Stefanski, formerly with the Browns, as their new head coach, and he's brought over his offensive coordinator from the Browns. So that's kind of interesting news.
So Atlanta is going to be Atlanta.
I think Atlanta, it moves Atlanta up like a tick.
Yeah.
Like I don't expect big things out of this change, but I think it's a little bit better. It's a little bit better. Other things I would like to mention, Miami's former head coach, Mike McDaniel, is now the Chargers offensive coordinator.
Yes.
The the Kansas City Chiefs have brought back Eric Bieniemy as their offensive coordinator, which apparently has made some teammates very, very happy. So I wonder if we'll see Travis Kelce come back instead of retiring because it's one of his favorite coaches.
I think the offense was
lacking.
I think the offense was less creative this year with him being gone. So that I think brings back a lot of creativity to the team. I don't think it was always Andy Reid, the mad scientist.
Right. You still have to have somebody there to help work through.
Yes. So do we go back and see now Kansas City from 3-4 years ago?
Maybe.
Where they were fun to watch and creative and, flicking the ball here, flicking the ball there and crazy plays. Maybe we'll start seeing that.
Maybe. I wish it happens because it's good for football when it happens. It's good for fantasy. It's good for football. It's good. It's all good all around. There is more rumors now that Tyreek Hill back to Kansas City.
I think he's a shell of his former player
for sure. I think Rashee Rice is the dude there now.
Yes,
but just
if Hill comes back, and knows his role, and say, "Hey, I'm the number 3 guy," because it would be Rice, Kelce, then Hill. If he can accept that, and he's still got a lot of speed. Don't get me wrong, he can burn most DBs and get down the field. And I mean, you got Rice and Hill going down the outside and Kelce coming across the middle. You don't have enough defenders to stop all
and
three.
they just need a reliable, solid running back
I think that's their biggest hole to fill this year is their running back room.
I think they bring back Pacheco, but not as the starter, but as a depth piece.
Go after a rookie. Somebody. Go after a rookie that could start.
You think so? I think they go vet. I think they bring in somebody who's out there, like say Kenneth Walker, who's going to be a free agent. Somebody like that. Maybe a Rico Dowdle. I don't know. Somebody along that line.
I would go rookie who can start, because then you still have the experience of Pacheco if the rookie doesn't work out. If the rookie lights it up, even better. And then your next 4 rounds, pick up offensive linemen and defensive linemen to fill your holes. Get rid of that goof that has a penalty every other play.
who actually got called on penalties for moving too early. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
The other news that you don't have.
Yeah. What did I miss?
And because I'm the first pick, I think the Raiders have found their their quarterback.
Mendoza.
Okay. All of the Raiders ownership was at the game and was whining and dining the kid after the fact. Even to the point saying Brady will be your personal coach if you sign on. So yeah.
So they're not I might be breaking first overall pick. They might be like, okay, be keeping kid. Him. Yeah, we're gonna go and get you, kid. We got Tom Brady to make sure you're great.
Because who's his competition as a quarterback there? Nobody. Nope. And then he's got Brock Bowers, Austin Genty.
Yeah, he's got some offensive talent.
They just need to, in the second and third round, go get wide receivers.
Yeah,
who are decent. As long as their offensive line can keep him healthy, the Raiders could have a bounce back year. On paper, they're better than they were.
They won some games.
Yes.
I think if they go Mendoza first overall, they then should spend to ensure that they have a line that can protect him. Who cares about wide receivers? They'll get those. You've got Brock Bowers and Ashton Genty. You've got a 2-weapon attack. You're not a one-dimensional team. You've got weapons that you can use. You don't need your top-tier wide receiver, but you do need to keep your quarterback upright. Shore up your O-line. Yeah, and wow. Okay. That's actually kind of a neat draw.
So that could be Yoda Clown moving away from Kermit the Frog.
You might become a Raiders fan?
No. Because they're in the same division as the Chiefs.
Yeah, Chiefs, yeah.
But I might be, if Mendoza puts up 40 points a game as opposed to Mahomes is 20 to 25.
Okay, I see. All right. Yeah, no, I like the prospect. Yeah, man, it's going to be an exciting offseason to see where it goes.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, well, let's get down to it. We're going to break down the division in review. Here's how we rank these teams coming into the season. So I'm going to start off by saying how they finished 2024, how we viewed them going into 2025, and then how they finished. So Kansas City sat at the top. They went 15-2. I said they'd go 11-6 and win the division because I did have the division going in a tie. You had them, Andrew, going 14-3, and they went 6-11. They really went downhill. Is there anything as a Chiefs fan that you would attribute the lack of success this year? Why the big turn?
I think too many uncertainties in the locker room, and I think the spark was just lost on the whole team.
Okay,
like the drive and the spark, and again, like I just talked about the creativity and them going out and having fun and all of this. And then, nobody really stepping up as a number one wide receiver. It seemed like each week there was a different wide receiver that was getting the ball.
Nobody was top tier. They had to spread.
And between Hunt and Pacheco, neither one of them seemed to want to step up and say, "I'm the guy." So I just I think this was a wake up call that they needed to turn around and like you said, getting Bieniemy back next year will help them and go from there. Sorry, I got to step off for just 1 second.
Okay, go do your thing. I'm going to talk about the Chargers. So last year, Chargers finished the season 11-6. I had them going 10-7. Andrew had them going 12-5. They finished this year 11-6. So even though they made some changes, they still finished the same. Somewhat more optimistic for 2027 or 2026. Yeah, for this year, I want to see what happens. Next, we got Denver. Denver finished 10-7 last year. Definitely showed that they were an up and rising team. I had them going 11-6, not winning the division, but taking second place. And Andrew, you had them going 7-10. Well, they finished 14-3. So they really were a team on the rise. And this, to me, this is the power division. This is the top tier division in football. You've got some big winning teams, or at least historically, some big winning teams, and the power has shifted, and it's kind of exciting to see. So Denver finished 14-3, and last we have Las Vegas. They finished 4-13 last year. They made some significant changes to the roster and the coaching staff. I had them going 8-9. Andrew, you had them going 10-7. They finished 3-14. So we were definitely over on these guys. And we'll have to see what they do in the off season to see what kind of energy or excitement they're able to build with the changes that they're going to make. They do have a new head coach coming. They are anticipated to draft Mendoza first overall. This is going to be a pivotal moment for them if they're able to make a significant change from their last 2 years of losing, if it comes to fruition. So I think I was just saying that I think the Raiders really need to have a solid offseason to really build some excitement and belief into them being able to rebound from 4-13 last year to 3-14 this year. Again, new head coach. They're probably gonna have a rookie quarterback, some significant changes. But I also said that this division is probably the top tier power division in football. Yes. I don't suspect Kansas City is going to stay with a losing record for long, and I don't see the Chargers or Denver giving up their winning records either. So exciting football in this division.
Yeah, I fully agree with you there. With I think what Vegas really needs is that confidence boost, that like kind of like with Detroit. I said it a few years ago with Detroit. You're so close. Like you're losing games that you probably could have won, by a field goal or less. But you need to get those wins early and get that confidence going. That's what I think how Denver did it this year. They won early and they got that confidence going. If they had lost, if they had lost, 3 or 4 of those games early in the season, they might have been the same record as the Raiders. Because you just, that air of confidence just leaves you, and you think, oh my, well, okay, here we go again, another crappy season like we had with Russell Wilson. We got this young quarterback who can't do it. That type of thing, right?
Right.
So we've been here before, just like the Chargers kind of at the end of the year. They fell apart. Same old thing again. We should have won the division. Shoulda, woulda, coulda, but didn't, right?
Didn't. Well, it does present some exciting football. Hopefully the Raiders are able to pick up their socks, get back into this race, and truly make this a power division. All right, well, the last bit of conversation we're going to have tonight is we're going to review the fantasy draft lineup that we created for this. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, we went over 90% accurate, you and I, Andrew, on this. Okay. I don't know if we'll repeat this level of success in the other divisions, but this is uncanny how well we picked this division. Okay? So we had to pick a quarterback, a running back, a wide receiver, a tight end, and then a flex play. It's the flex play that's the most variable position because you can pick from running back, wide receiver, or tight end.
That's what won you.
Yeah, that's exactly what won me. So I'm going to break it down. I picked Bo Nix. You picked Mahomes. Of the 4 starting quarterbacks, Bo Nix was number 1. He finished at 362. Mahomes was 337. We both picked Ashton Genty as a running back 1, and he was the running back 1. He finished at 216 points. For wide receiver, you and I both picked Ladd McConkey. He finished at number 2. Cortland Sutton, which I did find to be a bit of a surprise, was the number 1 wide receiver overall in this division. Kind of wild. He had 183. That's important. Tight end, I picked Brock Bowers. He was the number 2 tight end at 144. You picked Kelsey, which I thought was crazy at the time, but he was the number 1 tight end in this division at 154. This is the differentiator right here, the flex play. I picked Cortland Sutton, who was the number 1 wide receiver, but not the number 1 flex option. So I had the number 1 quarterback, the number 1 running back, the number 2 wide receiver, the number 1 wide receiver, and the number 2 tight end. That gave me a total of 1,053 points. You chose Omarion Hampton, and that was the differentiator right there. Omarion Hampton only got 119 points by comparison. The number 1 flex play at the position was RJ Harvey at 182, rookie running back.
Yep. And I think Omarion Hampton missed
a good chunk of the season
with an injury.
Had he played the whole season, yeah, he would.
So no, I'm not. Well, I'm not saying that would have flipped the tide of you winning, but it would have been a little bit closer.
He probably would have been the number 1 running back in this division had he played a full season.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So that said, I finished at 1,053. You had 974. I did get this. I won this battle. We have 7 more battles to go. It's going to be interesting to see how they play out. I was honestly impressed at how well we drafted. I don't know if we ever get this good again, but I'm looking forward to seeing how it plays out. That said, the bet as it stands is 11-6 for Andrew. I closed the gap by 1. I still got 5 more to go, but we've got 7 more rounds that we're going to settle up on before we land at the Super Bowl for our...
We need to split. We need to split these.
Yeah, that's what
I need to go into the Super Bowl with
a big
sizable lead.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. All right, well, man, that's it for this week. So, guys, next week, what we're going to do, as I just broke it down for you, we're going to bring back the AFC East, the AFC North, and I missed one. The AFC East, the AFC North, and the AFC South. So we're going to get the Central. There's no Central. Don't do that to me. My weak mind. Okay, so we're going to break that down for you dudes next week, and then the week after that, we'll do all 4 NFC divisions, and we'll take it from there. So enjoy some football this weekend, gentlemen. Enjoy some off-season, not having to set fantasy lineups. Take that break. Enjoy it. From one poor man to another, remember, if it's not fun, it's not worth doing. Good night, everybody.
Have a good week, everybody.